Hey there, first grade. Miss Hershey here. This is going to be part one of a three-part video, three-part project. This is the first video for the still life with vase. So we are going to be doing a floral still life, meaning flowers. So you're going to need 2 pieces of paper today and a Sharpie. And we're just going to do our drawing part today. We're not going to do any painting. Painting will be the next video, and then assembly will be the video after that. So we're going to start with 1 piece of paper here. And what we're going to do is, let's see here. We're going to do a vase on this one. So I'm going to start with, I'm using my Sharpie permanent marker. That's important because we're going to paint over it. We're going to draw, that's the top of my vase. Then this is the side of my vase. And you can do whatever shape vase you want. And then I'm going to try my best to make my sides match. And they're pretty close. My vase is a little leany, but that's okay. And then any patterns you might want on your vase, you're going to do now. That makes it look a little less leany. Okay? So all we're doing on this one is a vase. That's it. So vase, V-A-S-E. Okay? Vase. That's all we're doing on this paper. We are going to do a little bit of crayon detail on that one. Grab some crayons. I'm just going to color my designs. You can color your whole vase or just part of your vase. That's up to you, but I do want to see some crayon in here just to do a little resist, because I don't know that today's activity is really going to take you the full 40 minutes if you don't do some color. So let's just do some color. And my kids in school did this same project. Now they did theirs a little bit bigger because we had the place to put them. But they did a similar project in school and they turned out really good. So I'm really excited to see what you guys can do at home. So there's my vase, colored, a little bit of detail, and that one's done. So I'm gonna set that one aside. And here's my next paper. And this one we're going to draw our flowers. So this is gonna be, we're gonna actually cut the vase out and glue it onto here. So I'm going to, let's bring the vase back. I'm changing it up while we're here. I'm changing my mind. We're going to do a line across the top here. And then we're going to do some lines, sort of C shape, wavy lines, wavy lines. And then we're going to get a brown and color that brown. And that's because this is going to be wood. This is going to be the table that our still life is sitting on, that our vase is sitting on. So we're going to add an element to it. They did that as well, and I didn't think about it till just now. So I'm going to just color, this is the wood grain. You can actually see wood grain on my table back here. You can see the different lines in the wood. That's wood grain. And that's kind of what we're kind of trying to get here, and we'll paint it, of course, too. But let's do, that's our table and our vase, and then we use a little bit more of our paper too. So go ahead and do your vase down here. You don't have to label them. And table up here. That's terrible handwriting. All right, now when you're done with your vase and your table, we will go to our second paper. So this paper should be tall and skinny portrait style, and we are going to start drawing our flowers. So I like to start kind of towards the top, in the middle, with a circle. And I'm going to show you how to do a couple different types of flowers. So we're going to do roses. So I'm going to go around with a wavy line. Kind of looks like a person with some hair. Then I'm going to go around with a wavy line. And that just looks like a person with more hair. Then I'm going to go around with a wavy line. And we're going to keep doing that until you feel like your rose is as big as you want it. I'm going to do one more petal, and then the center of my rose, I'm just going to do some C shapes. And there's my rose, okay? I'm going to do 2 more roses. So I'm going to start with that circle shape, around with a wavy line, around with a wavy line, and keep going around with those wavy lines until you feel like your flower is as big as you want it to be. I think I'm done there. Then I'm gonna do, this is like the petals that are on the inside of the flower that haven't opened all the way yet. And like I said, we're gonna do 3 roses, 2 more. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm keeping everything kind of high up because you gotta remember we're cutting this vase out and sticking it here. So we don't want to go way to the bottom because you're gonna end up covering those up. I'm gonna make this one kind of a big one. Okay, and then my tucked in petals that haven't bloomed yet. Okay, and no stems, don't worry about stems. We need some other type of flower in there, so you can make up your own, or I'm gonna teach you one more, which is going to be a dahlia. So I'm gonna do one right here in the middle. So I'm gonna start with a bigger circle, and then I'm going to go around it with a zigzag line. And I don't know that we've used a zigzag line recently. We did Crazy Hair Day back in the fall, and that might be the most recent time that we've used that. And I'm going to do 3 dahlias as well. So I'm going to start with that circle and then the zigzag, and they almost look like a sunshine when you do this, like a shining sun. Just kind of a neat little starter. And dahlias are really big. I don't know how big ours will get, but they are in general a very big flower. So once you've got your sun step of your dahlia, you're gonna go around your triangles with a bigger petal shape that's also similar to a triangle, more round. And I'm gonna show you what to do here if you start to run into your other flower. We talked about overlapping a lot in our landscape drawing, so we're gonna overlap here. So this petal is gonna go to the rose and stop, and go to the rose and stop, because we want that flower to look like it's behind the rose, not mushing together. And you might have more overlapping than I do. It depends on how close you put your flowers together. You might not have any at all. Maybe you made your flowers very spread out. I don't know. So you're going to go through and do that second layer of petals on each of your flowers to make your dahlia. And then we're going to do a third one. So this is where you're going to probably start wanting to pause it to do your work, because they're going to get to be a lot of layers. So I'm going to do between now. That's my overlap. Still no overlapping here. This is a small guy. And then this one up here is my last. So it's layer 3 of petals. So we're going between the petals we already had. So you have to do at least 4 layers, okay? So then what we're going to do is we're going to go on the middle of those 2 now. 4 layers makes a dahlia. So if you're going to do a dahlia, do 4 layers. If you're doing a different flower, it's going to be different. And you can do more. I'm going to do more, but you don't have to. I think the next layer, layer number 5, is what really makes it look like a dahlia, but that's just me. You guys can decide how you feel. So this is going to be my last layer. I'm doing 5 layers of petals. And they're not perfect. I don't expect anybody's flowers to be perfect, not even my own. We're all learning. Okay. Okay, and that's it. So you can add some more flowers if you want, or you can add some leaves if you want, but for today we're gonna stop drawing there, and we are going to go ahead and we can add some details to our flowers using crayon. All right, so for my roses, they're gonna be red. So I'm just gonna go through and kind of trace around the edges of my flowers, of each petal. You can color the whole thing in, or you can just use the crayon on the edges. That's up to you. You can also make your roses a different color. Roses come in yellow, orange, white, pink. They come in like a coral color, red. They do come in a very light purple sometimes. So you can do whatever color you want on your roses. I just chose to do mine red. I'm doing just these kind of rough lines. They're not perfect at all. Just trying to add a little pop of color because we are going to paint these next time. I do want the center to be very dark because that's a lot of petals bunched up together. Okay, so color your roses however you feel like you want to. I'm going to let that sit there for a second for you to look at. Now my dahlias, I'm going to paint them yellow, but I'm going to use a yellow orange on some of my petals just to add a pop of color, a little bit of something, so they look more 3D. I'm not doing every petal. You can color the whole thing if you want to. That's up to you. You do not have to. Or you can just do like me and do some petals, some lines here and there. It's nothing too crazy with this coloring here, all right? Just a little something here and there and everywhere, okay? So go ahead, add a little bit of color. And then the last thing we're gonna do is we are gonna add those stems in now. So I'm gonna start with my lowest flower. You always start with your lowest flower. And we're gonna bring it all the way to the bottom. So I'm gonna do my stem there, okay? Then the next lowest one. I'm gonna do my stem there. And they intersect, but you can just draw over them if you want to. Then I've got this one. We want all of our stems to kind of come towards the middle so that that vase covers them up when we put that in. Okay? Now this one, I'm going to do my stem here. It's going to come down. And that one, maybe I want to do a leaf. Now you don't have to do a leaf. I just like a little bit of green in my picture. Just because right now it's a lot of white. And I know we're going to add some color next time, but I do like a little leaf here and there. Sometimes there's another one. Okay? Then you can color those stems too with crayon if you want to. I'm going to leave that optional. You can either paint them or color them. In class, I will tell you, when we did this in person, we did color them. I think it helps when you add the paint that they pop a little bit more. But I will leave that up to you if you don't want to color that leaf today. You don't have to, or that stem. And then the last thing we have to do is we have to color our background. So that's going to be the big coloring for today. That's what's going to kind of push us to our time limit for the day. So you have to pick what color you want your wall to be in the room that your flowers are. I don't have a lot of color choices. My box of crayons is missing, so I'm going to do blue. So I'm just very lightly, this doesn't have to be dark, just very lightly. I am going between all my flowers first. Those are the hard spots. I'm going to do my background. So this is like if we were looking at these flowers, they're floating in front of a wall, and this is what color my wall would be. It would be a blue wall. So when I do something like this, I like to go around my objects first so that I don't color on top of them. And then I can do these areas kind of bigger and messier because I'm not worrying about coloring on top of my flowers. So this is going to be the last step for today. Next time we will apply the paint to these. And then the time after that, the third time, we will do some cutting and some gluing to make our collages complete, multi-layered watercolor collage. Pretty excited about these. I think these are going to turn out really nice. So next time you will need your watercolor paint and both of these papers. So the vase that we did first, the table area that we did, and then your background with your flowers. So while I'm finishing up, let's just go over this. You need one vase, one table, and then we did 3 roses together. And then I let you choose for the last one if you wanted to do a dahlia with me or if you wanted to do a different flower, whatever one you did. Let's hope that you did 3. I want to see 6 flowers. That was sort of our minimum in school too, was 6 flowers. But you can do as many flowers as you can fit, especially if they're little, you can do more. So I'm just going to kind of go over this, even it out. It's a little light in the middle, I think. A little light up here too. So, okay. And then I'm done for today. So hang on to these until next week and we will do our painting. So until then, I hope you guys had fun today. I can't wait to see these when we're done in 2 more weeks. All right, bye.